Hey guys, it's Connie here. I am currently 4 weeks post-op from my mommy makeover procedure, and today, because it's 4 weeks post-op, and if you have been following along on my journey, you know that I came on my period literally the day before my surgery. So now 4 weeks later I came on my period again, and I wanted to tell you all about that. Once again, I create these videos based on my personal experience, and I kind of throw a lot of concepts out there that maybe you weren't even thinking of. And I know when I was doing my research for my mommy makeover, I would have probably watched anything related to the recovery journey. So I wanted to tell you a little bit about having your first period after a mommy makeover, or even if you're just having a tummy tuck, because it is a bit of an experience. If you have just had surgery, or if you're planning to have surgery, you know that you're going to be in compression garments for a while after your surgery, and so with that comes some interesting things when it comes to having your first period after surgery. So one thing that I did find is that I did get my period, and I got it on time on my regular schedule, so I guess that's good news. I would imagine that for some girls, especially if you're taking regular Tylenol and painkillers, maybe your period would be delayed. Sometimes it can even come earlier when your body's gone through, extensive surgery or trauma. So for me, especially because my recovery's been really good so far, and I really haven't been taking anything for pain management in the last while because I haven't had any pain, my period surprisingly came right on time, right on schedule, which is normal for me. I'm usually a fairly regular person, so I was happy to see that happened. But if your period comes early or late, just know that that is common, especially when you're taking painkillers and when your body's been through trauma. But for me, it was on time. One thing I am noticing though is that this compression garment is sort of changing things a bit. I generally get fairly bloated during my period, and especially I feel it in my face and in my abdomen area, and that's still the same even now post-op. And the challenge is that I'm finding that my garment's fitting a little tighter and that I'm having a bit more discomfort. So yesterday being day 2 of my period, which is usually a really bad day for me, sure enough, I really struggled yesterday. I had a lot more back pain. I was a little bit more hunched over yesterday, and I just felt in general very bloated and very tight in my garment. So just know that that's something that you might experience yourself. Also, even just managing changing your pad or tampon can be a little bit of a challenge when you're wearing all these compression garments. As you know, right now I'm in a compression garment that has clasps that go between the legs. I obviously wear underwear underneath that, and now also I'm fitting a pad underneath that, and so going to the washroom is a bit of an ordeal because you've got to take off that garment, or at least unbuckle it from the bottom. One thing I want to warn you about though is that the minute that I undo my compression garment, I'm finding that I'm getting extreme cramping. I feel like it's something to do with the pressure change, and I've also noticed and this is kind of gross and a bit of TMI, but I'm getting more clots or clumps that come out, and then all of a sudden I'll get a big gush of period. And so once again, our bodies are under a lot of compression right now, and I just find that that might be holding back my natural flow. So the minute I take off my garment to use the washroom and to do a pad change and whatever, just be prepared. You may want to be over the toilet during that time, and don't be scared if you have a sudden gush or some clotting that you're not used to. And I really strongly feel that's to do with all the compression. I feel like the compression is sort of holding that in, holding that back, makes it a little bit more challenging for your body to sort of drop that and get that out of your system. Same with even having a bowel movement. I find if I feel I have to do a bowel movement, I find that I definitely need to take off the compression garment so that I can allow that to happen successfully. Otherwise, I find that it puts a lot of extra pressure on my abdomen and sort of holds the gas in, which can be really uncomfortable. So just ladies, this is a private topic, I guess, for ladies who are post-op mommy makeover or tummy tuck. Just be prepared for that first period after your surgery. You may have to do things a little bit differently. It may be a little bit more painful or restrictive, but just know that you will get through it, and certain things sort of taking off your compression garment while you're over the toilet, or while you still have your underwear and pad on is a very good idea, and just sort of be prepared for it acting a little differently than usual. And if you need to, take some Tylenol. Yesterday was a really bad day for me. Like I said, I felt really bloated, really swollen. By the end of the day, I was completely exhausted, and so I definitely took a couple of Tylenol yesterday, and that really helped me, and it turned things around for me. So don't make yourself suffer. If you need to take a couple of Tylenol on those days, go ahead and do it. And just be prepared once again for that level of flow and even a little bit of cramping and pain. Yesterday, the second I took off my garment, I was getting literally sharp stabbing pains in my vagina area, and I think it was just the sudden pressure release. And so very similar to a contraction. If you've had children, breathe through them, don't hold them in. I just did some big heavy breaths, breathed through it, and as soon as I used the washroom and I was done with everything, it went away. Obviously cleaned up, changed my pad, freshened up a bit, and then put everything right back on. And so today, being day 3 of my period after my surgery, feeling a million times better, and usually after day 2, 3, it's pretty smooth sailing for me and I start finishing up. So I'm looking forward to better days. So anyhow, ladies, this topic was for you.